Good morning, Mountain View High School. It's a privilege to be here with you today. I actually raised my family in Sunnyvale and Mountain View, so coming back, so much fun. You guys are growing, progressing, changing, and it's fun to see. So as the intro talked about, I spend my life focusing on creating connections with people, all kinds of people, no matter what, no matter where, and I love it. It is a passion. And so today I want to show you some images of connection from my life, but then explain how that can move to something really incredible called co-regulation, where we as humans can share our emotions to support and encourage each other. Okay, this is an image of some really good friends. I call them the Dream Team. We connected years ago. We actually don't live near each other anymore, but when we get together, that connection is immediate. And this was a moment of joy. We were at Apple Hill and just enjoying the day, and this was delight. Sometimes that connection is sharing grief. Sometimes that connection is catching up on what's going in our lives or trying to deal with parenting. So it looks different, and connection can take on a lot of different forms, but it always has this incredible power of synergy. Okay, this is an image from 30 years ago. I was on a mission in the Canary Islands, and this is from a facility that provides rehab and housing for all kinds of children with disabilities. So that might be physical disabilities, developmental disabilities, emotional, social, lots of different things. And they were all there for different reasons. They lived there, and so we would go once a week, and we would work with these children, feeding them, playing with them. And this little girl that you see on my right, she's got her head down, I have my arm around her. She was blind. And every time we came, I noticed that she was off by herself. She wasn't in with the other kids. And I wanted to connect with her because I could see her loneliness. But there were so many people around her all the time, service providers, other kids coming and going, volunteers, and she never knew who was around her at any given moment. So she gave herself a lot of space so that she could feel safe, but I knew that she was alone in that space. So one afternoon when I was there, I started singing to the children because I love to sing. And I noticed she took a few steps closer. It was amazing. Just a few, but she stayed there. And the next week we came back because we were there once a week. And she, as soon as I started singing, she came closer again. And this continued for like 4 weeks until this day. She came up and sat down and let me put my arm around her. And it was magic. It was incredible. From that day on, every time I came in, I would start to sing to her. And she would come, and she would sit down and feel safe. And that was the epitome of what human connection means to me and its power. So let me show you a couple of other images. This is my dad with grandkids. He's the master of human connection. He taught me to love this. He could connect with anyone, anywhere, anytime. Gas stations, grocery stores, and quite frankly, as a teenager, that was often embarrassing. But I grew to love what he could do and wanted to emulate it, and he gave me a piece of advice. It was great. He said, every human who puts pants on does it one leg at a time. In other words, if you look for it, you can always find something the same with any human being. And once you find that, then you can connect. So what can we do with that connection? Co-regulation is the process in which two people, through a connection, can share their calm. Pass that emotional state back and forth. This is why we go find someone that we connect with when we're stressed out, overwhelmed, sad, scared, because they can lend us their calm. So when we make that connection with anyone, through that connection of energy, we can bring and share our emotional experience. So let's look at this right here. This is me and my mom when I was little tiny. All of us, when we were born, did not have the ability to regulate our emotions. We had to borrow calm from a caregiver who was there. That's where it started. By instinct, as soon as we enter this world, we need someone to lend us calm because we don't know how to do it. But what's incredible is that this ability that we develop from birth stays with us for the rest of our life. In fact, we get better and better at it with practice. An example from nature. I love this. All of us have seen the redwood trees around here, right? Tall, majestic, beautiful, very strong, and yet they have a very shallow root system. So how do they stand? How do they stay up, right? Because there's a lot of wind, forest fires, we know all about this around here. They stand strong because they interweave their roots. They connect to each other underground. So that when one tree is in distress, there's this entire network of root system to help it stay standing. And in fact, in the other picture, you can see a tree that was affected by forest fire. What happens is that root system underneath shoots up a circle of trees, redwoods, that grow around the burned tree. It's called a fairy ring, creating new life and stability with the loss of one tree. Amazing ability to draw strength together. So this connection is happening all around us. These are some moments of connection from my life, just to paint a picture for you of what that might look like. The top one is a good friend who came because I was having a really tough time. We just went out to lunch, had a laugh, and it was delightful. It was absolutely delightful. But we also cried that day and grieved some hard things that were going on. The top right is a part of a very large earring collection I have. I brought a pair to show you today. These are almost all gifts from people I have connected with. And they help me so much in the crisis nursery. Every single day when I come, there are different children, different families facing every kind of crisis you can imagine, and they need to co-regulate. And I find it incredibly powerful to put on a pair of cheeseburger earrings, because every 2- and 3-year-old child wants to touch them, and I'm fine with that. It gives me that moment of connection. The bottom one is my nephew, adorable. He's now 14, just as adorable at 14. He connects through eyesight. He loves to look into people's eyes. So we would put sunglasses on just to have fun with him, and he would yank those glasses off so that he could make that connection. For many of us, including me, too much eye contact all at once is a lot, but he connected that way. And then the last picture is my daughter and I. I had picked her up from school. She's going to college in Colorado Springs. And this is right by the Colorado River. It was moments after I picked her up. We were going for a walk. She connects by taking a walk. She doesn't want so much eye contact. She doesn't want a lot of touch. She just wants to be present with me and share thoughts and ideas. Last picture. This is my family. The reason we're all covered in dirt is because we had been riding ATVs up in the Rocky Mountains above Heber City, Utah. In the middle is my son, Peter. He's my oldest. He was born with autism. He also had ADHD, severe depression, and an anxiety disorder. This was at a time when he was battling very, very serious depression and his anxiety. And we had gone to celebrate his 18th birthday. He'd never driven anything before. So we got in these ATVs. He was super excited to drive this thing. We're up in the Rocky Mountains. And we got off on a side trail to go look into the forest area a little bit. At the end of that trail was a turnaround. It went around a pile of rocks. And what we discovered when we got out there was that there was sheer cliff at the edge of that turnaround. And I'm not lying, I was terrified sitting next to him because he'd never driven anything, right? And part of me was like, Peter, put it in park, let's change, I'm driving, right? But immediately I thought, if I do that, then I'm expressing a lack of confidence in his ability. But I really don't want to go over that cliff. So I tapped into his excitement to help calm my stress. And we talked very carefully through the process of getting around that sharp turn. Sometimes we had to reverse a little bit, and I think I probably lost a year of my life in stress on that turnaround. But we made it, and we went back. And that was a very powerful moment of connection for me. Unfortunately, in the years that followed, we lost my son to suicide. And every time I look at that picture now, I go back to that day and the feelings I felt when I connected with him and drew power and strength from his excitement and his love of life and ability to step up to something and try something hard so that we could have that amazing experience. And what's really awesome is that to this day, when I look at that picture, those emotions of connection come back. And it helps me with my grief. So when you have connected with someone, the experience and the emotions that you have in that moment they're there for good. You carry them everywhere. And every time you go back in your mind to the time you connected with that person, you go back to that place and all of those feelings. So every time I look at this, there's excitement mixed with terror of coming off a cliff and success. And I was super happy to be with him that day. This is my passion in life, connecting with people. Over anything, at any time, sometimes at Trader Joe's, Costco, the airport. I love it. And I'm delighted to be with you today, and I hope you felt some of that connection. And I challenge you to look for any opportunity you can to connect with someone else so that that strength can be available to you. Thank you.